Okay, then I came out here to crank my Jeep today, and it was not cranking. Imagine that. And so I just sort of took my carburetor apart right on top of it here, and the float bowl is dry, which means gas isn't coming in through here. I checked the fuel pump, and I am getting gas out of my filter here, but it's not making it into the carburetor, and it looks like that little needle valve, see that little needle valve right there, it looks like it's stuck closed. It's supposed to pop open. You'll notice there's a little thing right here that pushes that in and out when it comes up and down. This is supposed to be open. It's not. It's free though. Why isn't that opening, I wonder? Pull that out and look at it. Okay, I took that needle valve out and freed it all up, put it back in there. I'm just going to spin it over to see if any gas comes into here. It may be that needs to be cleaned out real good too, but I might lift that out. I can do that with it right there, just lift it out and clean it out good. Well, I spun it over and it's getting plenty of gas in there now, so I'm going to put it back together and see if she'll start up. That's kind of weird. Okay, I got her back together. I'm willing to bet she'll crank right up now. I'm going to say a few things about this here. Several people have asked me, yes, this is a mechanical choke. I did hook it up that way myself. No, this isn't the original carburetor. It's a much older carburetor, but it's always worked good. The needle valve was stuck. I unstuck it and I got gas in there now. I'm willing to bet if I get that choke set right, it'll start right up. While I was doing that, I was thinking about, why don't you go in there online and buy you a new carburetor. See, here's my choke right here, and I can see it right there, and that looks about right. See if she starts. There you go. That did the trick. And I'm thinking, well, you know, that carburetor was so easy to fix, I was able to literally take it apart right on the motor. I don't know if I had a different kind of carburetor, would it be that easy to fix or not. That's actually pretty neat. Another thing I'm thinking about is, you know, I always feel like I got two ways to go when I come across something like this. I could be complaining because my Jeep wouldn't start, or I could be really happy because the day it didn't start was the day when it was warm and I was able to get out here and fix it and it wasn't very much trouble. I think I'm going to be grateful that it was a warm day and I found out it was broke down on a warm day and I was able to fix it, rather than being out here when it was 18 below and I needed it to plow with. It wouldn't go and I had frozen fingers and it would have been a lot more difficult. If that happens again, the first thing I'll do next time, I had to heat this right here because it's tough, but next time I'll just pop this out because that's where the needle valve is, and I should be able to pop that out and unstick that valve if it ever sticks again without any great difficulty. So that's kind of the way I'm going to plan that. Y'all may remember I went through a bunch of breathers on this thing, and I didn't like any of them. None of them really worked very well. I wound up going back with this ugly old original breather because as ugly as it is, it works. So I guess that's about all I got to say about that. I got my heater I talked about earlier wired directly to my battery. I got my battery tender wired to a wire that hangs over my windshield wiper and goes through the wall and inside the garage and is plugged in there. And I got my Jeep running good, so I'm thinking now I can close the hood on this baby, and next time I need it, now that that's unstuck, it should fire right up and run good, and we'll get to test that little electric heater, that little battery powered heater, see how well it works when it gets cold again. So with that said, I'm going to close the hood and mosey up there and see how my neighbor's doing, and then go in and load some videos, I think. See, this thing works just fine. And I don't see any big draw. This thing has a voltmeter on it. I don't see any big draw now when I turn that on, so that might work out just fine. Somebody said the other day, well, I had one of them and it would only heat up a little tiny spot on my windshield. Well, that's about all I needed to do. My defrosters on each side kind of work. This little tiny spot in the middle is the spot that don't. So if it'll heat that spot up, I'll call that good. That'll be good enough for me. That's what I'm saying. All right then.